All right, so this is XLI. You should see a weekly chart on the left and a daily chart on the right. Let me just get these pointers up right there. And I'm going to blow this up for you to see so you could see the cycle analysis and the consistency that is in here. So on the bottom are the cycle brackets. This has a 30-period cycle in there. Every single cycle, every single symbol has its own cycle period. Now, there are many cycles that, have synchronicity with each other because they're in similar groups, so they're tied to certain indexes that trade with each other. And you can see in here this declining phase right there. Note this is our reversal scout. When the reversal scout turns over to the downside, of course, you get an engulfing right over here. It does warn us of a peak, and you could see that fell for about 3 months on the downside. In this case, the reversal scout turned down. It did flatten out a little bit, but then turned down again and has not quite turned up yet. But this is the time period between these two timing lines right over here that tell us that this would be the area we would expect the bottoming phase. Now you can see right over here, there's an inverted head and shoulders. It's clear on the daily chart, which I'll just show you. And that occurred at the 23.6%. That's only 23.6% from this level to this level. When you get a correction that is that shallow, it is a super bullish occurrence. The probability of taking out that high is probably 85, 90%. And you can see in here that I have the measurement right up over there for the inverted head and shoulders. That's 128, 129, and the next fib extension is about 132. So it's pretty reasonable to expect, I'm just going to duplicate this, that the peak is made somewhere over there or somewhere over here. You could see this cycle over here rising. I would expect it to rise at least to the midpoint in here because we have this bullish cycle pattern set up right there. So this is an example of the XLI, the industrial sector, where there's a lot of value stocks that are getting a bid. So you have that inverted head and shoulders. Here you could see that inverted head and shoulders. Also, that's after this correction right in here. And that does point up to this area right over here. That's the same thing, about 129 right there. And so we have this upside projections for this cycle. You see the resistances coming right across here. So I have it only going up to that level right there at 126. But I actually think it's reasonable to expect it to get to the inverted head and shoulders measured move around 129. If I look at the real short term right over here, you can see that the supports right over here are rising. And if there were a pullback into this area, this would be where I would say is the most advantageous entry zone right here. That would be around under the 123 level, then to expect it to be moving up again. Overall, what we see in here is the momentum, which was negative, now turning neutral right over here, which is the first sign that we're getting this reversal. This inverted head and shoulders has now broken out. So I would expect that if it pulled back over here, it would move down. That's, by the way, how you form a cup and handle. It often happens after a double bottom or after the right shoulder of an inverted head and shoulders. And cycle patterns are what make these patterns form in here, essentially, because this rising phase right over here did not let it get down to that low right over there. And then it got back up to this level here, which is something that only happens under positive conditions when it gets up to that 78.6, as you see right there. So that is the, the repair level, as we call it, which is this is now repaired. I expect momentum to go positive in here. And I expect that if you get that dip down over here, close to around 123, 122, you're getting a very favorable option entry location. I hope it does that. I hope it gives us the pullback and gives us a good entry. This is quite positive when I see the structures, but not yet giving us the momentum changes that I would like to see. That's probably coming very soon.